Hello guys, welcome back to the Huevember color challenge. We are on day 17. As always, we're going to start off with that photosensitivity warning. If you are sensitive to flashing lights and moving images, try to focus on the canvas to the right hand side of the screen. That one is going to be stationary, whereas the one to the left hand side is going to be moving around and flashing a lot. So for today's color, we have teal again, and I said a couple videos back that I wish I had some mermaid characters, and I completely forgot about this little cutie. She is a siren. She is another one of my Monster Kid characters, and this one is going to be another side character. I don't really have any big plans for her in the story, but I do have her appearing a couple of times along the main plot line of the story. And in addition to that, I don't really have a backstory or personality picked out for her either. Aside from, I know she is very athletic, very competitive, and very ambitious. Her sport is competitive swimming. I've decided with this school, the competitive swimming classes are kind of categorized in a couple different categories, one of which being aquatic monsters. So if you happen to be an aquatic monster, of course you're going to have an advantage. So they compete in a separate category than the rest of the classmates. And we're just going in with the line art here. I always do this. I always do just like a very, very rough sketch of the hand, and I think that's fine. I'll do it in line art, and I always end up having to go back in and re-sketch the hand in more detail so that I can actually do the line art without having to stress over the anatomy of the hand. I do that every time. I never learn. And we are going to do a little bit of our tilt shift trick with this one. I don't have that many layers to the background. I really just have the main torso portion in the foreground, her tail is going to be in the midground, and then there's going to be the far background is going to be blurred. And this time, instead of blurring the background and foreground, we're actually going to keep the foreground nice and crisp because that's where the character is in this piece. Then the midground is going to have a slight blur on it, which is that tail there, and then the background is going to be the one that has that really intense Gaussian blur, again to draw your eye away from the areas that you don't want to focus on and towards the main character or the subject of the piece. But that step is going to come at the very end of the piece once everything is all colored in and shaded. So we are starting out again with those block colors. I'm giving her skin and blush here and a lot of freckles because I really wanted the freckles to transition into the tail and look like spots or a design on the tail, but then still have that sort of human element of the freckles on the face and the shoulders. And I remember when I designed this character, I initially wanted to give her like blue or purple hair, make her look really, really fantasy and mermaidy. But as I sort of developed a little bit of personality in her head, I decided to go with the red hair because it just reads determination to me. It reads hot-headedness and fieriness and just like really, really ambitious. So I went ahead and stuck with the red hair. And we are doing, as always, our tried and true method, just putting a solid multiply layer over the top of the whole piece. I've chosen a very, very light grayish blue for this one to keep those really cool tones. And then, of course, erasing everything that we want to be highlighted, anything we don't want to be in shadow. I decided for the light source for this one, I wanted to do just a basic light source off to the side, and then I wanted to have those like neon teal pool lights coming up from underneath her from the pool. So I'm just putting in the basic highlight here, the light off to the side, and then after that, of course, going in with those shadows. I didn't really need a lot of shadows on this one because the highlighting took care of most of the dimension of the piece. But I did want to throw a couple in there where things were just looking kind of flat. And there we are going in with that underlighting from the pool light, that very, very bright artificial blue light. I really wanted to put that into this piece. I don't think it came through a ton, like it's not super, super obvious to see, but I think it was just like the right touch to really make it look like she was in a pool with those artificial pool lights. And then there's just that last touch I did there of that blue haze kind of coming up from underneath to give the effect of light being cast on the character. And that's about it. I did the tilt shift with the tail and the background, but that is Mel. That is day 17 for our Huevember challenge. I believe tomorrow we are going into the True Blues, which is super exciting. That'll be posted tomorrow, but if you want to see that video right now, you can find it on my Patreon under the Video Star tier, along with tons of other early access and exclusive content there for you. Other than that, if you would like to follow me on my art journey, you can do so on TikTok and Instagram. I'm posting every day for the month of November. And I will see you guys back here for tomorrow's video. Bye.